Hope and Healing. My name is Leslie, and today I'm going to be interviewing Hope and Healing's newest therapist, Shepard Stephenson. I'm going to be letting him do most of the talking. So Shepard, if you could briefly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what led you to becoming a therapist.
Excellent. Nice to meet you. My name is Shep Stephenson. I'm a therapist here at Hope and Healing Therapy and Wellness Center. I would say that my journey towards being a therapist and counseling in general probably started back when I took my first psychology class as a high school student. I was immediately drawn to learning and understanding more about how we think, feel, and act, whether that was from a neurological or biological standpoint, but also more about how our past experiences and our relationships could influence how we think about things, how we act in certain situations, and also just influence who we're developing into as people overall. So I would say that's what got me started down the psychology route. And then from a therapy standpoint, fast forward probably 4 years, I was working in a medical hospital as an undergraduate intern with individuals who had been diagnosed with cancer and with other potentially life-shortening illnesses. My predominant job was to sit in the waiting rooms with individuals and listen to their stories, make sure the coffee was always full, but also just to be someone who was holding space for people who were experiencing very significant existential moments in their life. And what drew me even more towards therapy from those experiences was the amount of hope and optimism that the majority of these patients had, despite some really challenging circumstances. So to watch people who continue to develop, continue to improve, despite experiencing medical crises, but also psychological crises that went along with that, was extremely empowering for me to watch as a person, but also informed a lot of my desire to want to then pursue psychology as a profession, and specifically counseling.
Sure, extremely empowering. And so you've worked with some different populations and in some different arenas. What are some of the ways that you've witnessed therapy making a difference in the lives of your clients, be they in the hospital or in another setting?
So I think for me, again, approaching psychological wellness or mental health wellness from that standpoint, I've definitely seen therapy drastically improve clients' subjective feelings of things like distress. I've seen it promote, like I said, health and wellness, optimism. I've seen it improve communication skills. I've seen it alleviate distress, whether it's anxiety or depression. I've seen it improve communications in marriages. I've seen it improve professional standing. I've seen it improve just overall levels of integration. And I think that's a big part of who I am as a therapist, is a very client-centered approach to holistic well-being, where my ultimate goal in working with anyone is to promote integration, to promote how we think and feel about ourselves from a more positive standpoint, so that those things can trickle over into all aspects of our life. Not only how we feel about ourselves, but how we understand our experiences in our life that led us to this point, greater understanding and insight into our relationships, both on a personal level, but maybe on a professional level, our relationships maybe in who we are as parents or as in partners in our relationships. So definitely see counseling and therapy as an avenue that promotes greater integration, greater wellness, and then hopefully a lot more hope and optimism.
Yes, making you an excellent fit for Hope and Healing, where we do focus on holistic approaches to not just the therapy side of things, but wellness, overall wellness and general wellness of each
Absolutely.
of our clients. So what are some things that your future clients can expect from you in therapy sessions?
That's a great question, because I know a lot of clients coming into their initial therapy sessions are a little worried about what the experience is going to be like. Maybe they've seen things in the media, maybe they've heard things, and they may have some preconceived notions about, what's going to happen. And I promise that therapy sessions and working with any of our providers here, but with me specifically, is not meant to be a painful process. It is a process where my goal is to approach wherever you are at this point in your path in terms of who you're becoming, the type of person that you are, and it's from a judgment-free zone. You'll never find any judgment from me in terms of what you're experiencing and who you are. I think that's one of the great things about being a more client-centered approach is that really I'm here to be a service for you with whatever it is that you're coming to the table with. And I'm there to sort of meet you at that table and maybe provide a little bit of direction at times, but also just to help you decide what avenues you want to take and support you in your journey towards better mental health and wellness and maybe making some of those changes that brought you into therapy in the first place. So I would say the big things is that it's a judgment-free zone. As we're often fond of saying here, you're not broken, you don't need fixing. So I'm not looking to fix you. I'm just looking to be a support to hopefully provide you a space to make some of those changes that brought you in.
Really good information for someone to have before they sit down in a therapist's office for the first time. So what is something that you wish that everyone knew about seeking mental health treatment? If they've never been in a therapist's office before, they've never been in that seat as the client, what's something that you wish all people knew before scheduling that first appointment?
Right. I would say that it is the best kept secret in your neighborhood, is what I would say. Because I would say that if you think you're the only one, you're not. And that more people are engaging in some sort of wellness practice, whether it's therapy, whether it's some of the other services that we also offer here. But more people are engaged in that than you're aware of. So you're absolutely not alone in wanting to improve how you are thinking, improve how you're feeling, improve any aspect of your life that you want addressed. So I would say, the number one thing I would say is that you are absolutely not alone, and it's definitely the best kept secret in town.
Absolutely. Very good point. And for someone who is considering therapy, but doesn't know where to start, doesn't know about providers, maybe even in their area, or what kind of provider might fit with their network. Maybe they don't have coverage, maybe they do, but they're not sure what's included with that. What is something, or how would you point someone in the direction of getting started with therapy for the first time?
I think the best way to get started is to spend some time on our website. I think spend some time looking at all of our providers that we hear. We have a great team of professional staff. We have very knowledgeable office staff that can answer a lot of those questions in terms of what options are available, either from an insurance coverage standpoint, a self-pay standpoint, what are some of the additional supplemental services that are offered here, whether it's things like aromatherapy or massage or walk and talk therapies. I would say really spend some time on our website getting to know who we are as an organization, getting to know a little bit about each one of us as individuals. And then I would say go ahead and call and set up an appointment and give it some time to sort of get in and see if it's something that would be beneficial for you. I would say there's no reason to delay. There's no reason to wait. Otherwise, I would say, the internet is a great source of information. Things like Psychology Today and things of that nature can help point you in some directions to maybe understand a little more about therapists and therapeutic sort of orientation so that you can make an informed decision about what types of approaches may be most beneficial for you as a person, but also maybe with, some of the things that you're hoping to develop more in your life from a wellness standpoint.
Absolutely. And piggybacking off of that, you may be watching this video on our website right now, but you also may be watching it on one of our social media platforms or on YouTube, or you may have clicked into this video from our newsletter. So if you're not familiar with our website, you can find us at www.hopehealingtherapy.com. You can also give us a call and speak to one of our office administrators by calling 301-690-8404. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we sign off today, or any final thoughts that you have to share?
No final thoughts. Just looking forward to being part of the Hope and Healing community, but also being of great service to our Southern Maryland community as a whole. One of the things that I think I didn't bring up is that I see patients and clients here in the Leonardtown office. I'm also available virtually, and just look to hopefully be a support and a resource for anyone who wants to try something new, make some improvements, and just be a resource, like I said, to anyone who needs it.
Very good to know. So you're available for telehealth as well. And I know we are extremely happy to have you as our newest team member. So thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk with me today, and we'll see you soon.
Excellent. Thank you very much.